I wasn't even going to post on this, and then I saw some clips that changed my mind, and I'll show you those in a moment. But first, Elon Musk yesterday, along with his son Little X, held a press conference in the Oval Office to discuss what Doge is doing. And there was a hot mic that caught some of it. So first is this little gem.
To restore democracy. This may seem like, well...
You heard that too, right? You're not the president, you need to go away. I'll play the clip a second time. Just you watch and tell me if that's what he said.
To restore democracy. This may seem like...
That's what he said, but I'll go one better. Because he also said this.
The prices from one year to the next are the same, and their mortgage.
That one's clear as day. He says, "I want you to shut your mouth up." And there's already people who are like, "Out of the mouth of babes." But let me just put this out there for your consideration. A child this young doesn't have this profound moment where he tells off Trump. He just repeats things he's heard. So if he says you're not really the president, chances are someone has said that around him, and he's repeating it. When he says, "I want you to shut your mouth up," he's either heard someone say that to someone else, or someone has said that to him, and he's repeating it. Either scenario is pretty disturbing. But perhaps the question we should be asking is the same one that Shay Jordan Smith asked on Twitter, which is, why the is Elon Musk doing press briefings in the White House from the Oval Office? He is not an elected official. Why is he holding court in the Oval Office? Nothing about this is normal or good.
You can't make this stuff up. So Bill Gates wants to build a smart city in Arizona called Belmont. He's spent over $80 million buying 25,000 acres in an area west of Phoenix and west of Buckeye, along with other far-left billionaires, like the guy who owns diapers.com. Coincidentally, now there's been an increased risk of wildfires in the areas surrounding the proposed sites. And you guessed it, now insurance companies are starting to cancel wildfire policies in the areas. Sounds familiar to something else, but I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving you some facts.
Fighter jet crashed into the water off Shelter Island in San Diego. The incident briefly captured on video. Both pilots on the plane ejected. They were rescued by a fishing boat, then transferred to a Customs and Border Protection boat before they were taken to the hospital. They're reportedly in stable condition. Navy officials say the aircraft was an EA-18G Growler, a two-seater jet that specializes in electronic warfare. The Coast Guard safeguarding the wreckage in the San Diego harbor.
There has to be something deeper going on with these plane crashes, because it used to be a rare event. Now it seems like a daily occurrence.
So Area 51 just got hit by an earthquake, or did it? Well, there's nothing showing up on the USGS of an earthquake happening at Area 51. And you see all these marks here? Take a screenshot of it and come and ask me about it. Y'all know about M Cave, but do you know that there's several locations too? What about this testing spot? Oh, look at all these holes right here. Oh, ain't that interesting? Just to give you an idea, that's 545 feet each hole. And as you tell, there's a whole lot of them. Oh yeah, and don't forget about Area 6, that's right there next to it. Oh, and don't forget, to the southeast you have the Dense Plasma Focus Facility. So let's check out one of the M caves. As you see here, this is one that you can drive semi-trucks into. Here's the other one. Again, you can drive semi-trucks into. Look at the size of the trucks here, and they can pull in and out of this. And then you have a hiker that, went missing. He found an M cave that you could walk into.
Listen. Whoa! Stay inside, baby. What the f is that? Okay, but really, what the f? Please tell me you guys hear this. Wait for it.
Dude, look at this shadow right here, man. Look how cool that looks. Dude, I used to never see these right here. Never. And look at all the, I've never seen that in person but one other time, dude. Just look how crazy that looks. I mean, it goes all the way. Look at that, man. That's wild, ain't it? Probably the coolest thing I've ever seen, man. And look, there's even another one right there, it looks like maybe, but look, what are these things right here? What's that news guy's name again? I can't remember his name. He commented on one of my videos one time about these, just saying it was, you know, it was normal and blah, 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 blah. But I just think it's cool because I've never seen that before, but one other time. And I remember being a kid, and I don't ever remember. I remember being a kid, man, and I never saw these right here. Like I never ever, or I mean, those, it's just crazy stuff, man.
Take a look at this commercial with Tom Brady. And this is more truth in plain sight. This commercial was aired during the Super Bowl. And if you know what they are trying to tell you.
Who put these in, Tom? Only Duracell has power boost ingredients. That's why winners like Tom here only run on Duracell. Tom, are you okay? Why does everyone keep asking me that since the roast? I gotta go, Gronk's down.
So if you can't see, that is truth in plain sight. They are telling you without telling you what is really going on. And one has to wonder if this is even the same guy at all, because he's starting to look a little different these days. Or am I just being a little too paranoid? I don't know. But that commercial was really creepy. And again, it is more truth in plain sight.
Okay, so this is the wildest shit. That is, I don't know if you can hear it, that is a cop drone. So they're actively looking for somebody. It followed the neighbor up the stairs. Okay, cops everywhere.
How many people feel smarter than GPT-4? Okay, how many of you think you're still going to be smarter than GPT-5?
I was expecting more hands here.
I don't think I'm going to be smarter than GPT-5, and I don't feel sad about it, because I think it just means that we'll be able to use it to do incredible things. And, you know, like, we want more science to get done. We want to enable researchers to do things they couldn't do before. This is like the long history of humanity. It does feel a little different this time because of what this can enable. But if scientists can do things because they have like a crazy high IQ tool and they can focus more on figuring out the right questions to ask, address things quicker, do their search space faster, that's just a win for all of us. So we're thrilled to get to enable that.
John Blitch, his interview was fascinating.
What happened to him?
He believes that he was potentially abducted even as a child. He would see them outside his window just staring in. And then as an adult, said I would do this bike ride because the pressure of my job was just intense. This one bike ride, there are 5 hours unaccounted for. He said my wife called the police, and it's almost like I just like closed my eyes and opened them. And he's like, it was just a little darker outside. And he said he was the most tired he's ever been. And then he went into a gas station, chugged so much Gatorade, walked out, and the police were like, hey, are you John or whatever? He's like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, you've been missing. Your wife called in. They're concerned about you. Can we give you a ride home?
And he couldn't remember anything besides that. So
no. But then he talks about there was one night he was visited. He said the only way I could describe it was a giant praying mantis, but it could speak to me telepathically.
Tim Alvarino talked about him.
Yeah, he did.
Insectolin.
But he talked about this thing was speaking with him telepathically, and basically along the lines of like, stop squirming, let us do our test. We can never hurt your soul.
Oh.
Then he woke up, said, I noticed on my arm 3 bruises inside my arm. Something had grabbed.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
I'm not trying to alarm you, but tech billionaires are buying luxury apocalypse bunkers. This is not a conspiracy theory. This has been a trend among rich people, specifically among Silicon Valley rich people, for a while. Like Mark Zuckerberg has a $100 million compound in Hawaii, and underneath it is an apocalypse bunker. But I have a really interesting question about this, because the practice itself seems sensible to me. If I were a billionaire, I would probably have a bunker, because you don't know what's going to happen. And especially among tech billionaires who know that they're currently using AI to try to build an artificial god, which will likely be insane. So here's my question. Once you have your bunker, they of course are going to need muscle. They'll need tough guys to protect the bunker and to keep order inside. So let's just say that a few years from now, Mark Zuckerberg gets the call. His AI team says, hey, good news, we have successfully built a computerized Cthulhu. As suspected, it has gone mad and has declared that it is going to bring about 1,000 years of darkness. So they and their chosen survivors all go down into their luxury bunkers where they will be safe. At that point, what's to stop the muscle from just taking over? Like, they don't do that now because they're getting paid, but once things have collapsed, money won't be a thing anymore. If the biggest henchman says, this is my bunker now, what's the argument against it? That the billionaire has a little piece of paper that says he owns this property? What would that mean down here? What does he say when this guy just grabs that piece of paper and eats it? Do you see what I'm saying? Their billions can build the bunker, but the moment they're forced to use it, they're nobody.
And they tell you the truth, like always.
The alien ambassador is already here.
Whoa.
Not her. Him.
Hey, what's up, dude? You're an alien? All famous people are aliens. I'm not. I meant like really famous people.
It's just so obvious. I'll show you more in a second. But really quick, let me ask you this. Why is every Super Bowl, every Olympics, and any other main event always consumed by aliens? And of course, they're showing me mantis aliens. Teen girl abducted by praying mantis aliens. And this right here was the first alien commercial for this Super Bowl. Look at his hand. Why would he do that? It's not rocket science, y'all. They're saying that all the famous people are alien because they're not of this earthly plane, but of this outer dimension. And you know, these white aliens are supposed to be the good aliens out of all the other aliens that help humanity. Kind of like, you know, when those fallen angels came down and helped humanity. And white trying to appear pure because, you know, Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Remember, like, Kendrick was surrounded by the people in white the entire time and they were the only ones left standing? Not everyone that looks human is human, and there's a great delusion coming, and they're straight up telling you. Remember Lil Wayne's I am not a human? And the worship of these fallen angels continue.
I'm watching this clip, right? As above, so below. Right? Guys, I made the connection. It's gonna blow your mind that we knew all along what this remind you of. What this is remind you of, y'all. Watch this. Look, I'm not supposed to be holding on to this phone, but my mind cannot stop, and I feel like I should share this. Whenever I watch something, I connect dots. That's me. And whenever you're watching something, when they showing you books in those movies, take the titles. They are telling you something. But this is the big camera, y'all. I'm gonna show you guys. This is what they did not want to tell us what that is, y'all. I'm gonna show you guys what that is. You guys ready? Just tell me if I'm onto something, man. TikTok, this is not facts. This is not true. Alright, guys, check this out. TikTok, this is not true. This is not facts. Alright, so you guys take a second and read this and tell me what you think. They have been lying to us, y'all.
They say art imitates life, but in this case, is art a prophecy? Author Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a series of books over 100 years ago about a super rich kid named Baron Trump. One of the books is titled Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. The fantasy book tells the tale of a boy named Baron Trump, who of course makes his home in Castle Trump. The narrator of the story is a guy by the name of Don. The book supposedly tells the tale of Don, the Master of Masters, taking young Baron through a time-traveling portal to Russia. The last pamphlet written by Lockwood is entitled The Last President, which takes place in New York City and describes the chaos America faces after the election of an unlikely candidate.
The thing with Baron Trump, have you heard that?
Oh yeah,
like,
that's nuts too.
That's wild.
Find that one. That one's nuts too. That one's completely bizarre.
There's a series of books from like, I think it's the late 1800s or something.
Yeah.
About, yes, it's 1900 here, but it's like a person named Baron Trump goes on these adventures, gets a guy from Manhattan to be his like guide. It's very strange and very similar to like what.
See if you can find what the synopsis, like what connects it to Baron Trump. It seems real weird.
The book is called The Last President.
The Last President. That's kind of crazy. Because if shit hits the fan and the aliens land, he is the last president. An 1889 novel called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey was written by Ingersoll Lockwood. He would go on to write another book called The Last President in 1900. This mystery which involves the Trump family, Nikola Tesla, time travel, and dark forces.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
In a castle called Castle Trump.
So he's follows the adventures of a young aristocrat named Baron Trump living in a castle named Castle Trump, which is fucking crazy. The character is described as intelligent, curious, and somewhat arrogant, guided by his mentor Dawn. Baron embarks on fantastical journeys, including one to discover a magical portal in Russia.